Okay, the next section of video we're going to go over is one of the most important parts of the system, chokes and strangles. Without a doubt, the best technique on the face of this earth and the most natural technique on the face of this earth in a one-on-one situation is a choke. I do not care how strong or how big your attacker is, what kind of drugs he's on, how drunk he is. You wrap your arms around his neck and choke him, he will go out just like a baby would. That is by far and away one of the top techniques in the system. That's one of the reasons why we call it Pitbull Jujitsu, is because one-on-one is without a doubt the best. I mean, there is no such thing as a 100% technique, but this is by far and away the closest. And basically learn it more in a formal way at first. It's more safe because we do more breath chokes in Pitbull than we do blood chokes. We do variations of both in some circumstances, and we'll go over them. We're also going to be doing revival techniques. So this section will be chokes, strangles, and revival techniques. Okay, and that's mainly for the dojo use. If somebody gets choked out and you need to revive them, you're not going to probably revive an attacker. If somebody tries to rob you or whatever, you don't want to revive them, but your partner. You get a little carried away, he needs to be revived. That's what they're for. They're for your friends. They're for your training partners. Okay. We're going to go from this direction first. Turn this direction. Let's get forward a little bit. Okay. Your uke, your training partner, will be sitting in this fashion. You will come up behind him, put your hands on his shoulders, and be on the ball of your left foot and your right knee up. We're only doing this on the right side. You need to train these on both sides. The first choke that you want to do is the scarf choke. Is probably the most basic and most used one because it's the most simplest one to do. We're going to do this in a couple angles so you get a real good view of it. Okay, remembering what you want to try to do, the same leg that is up, that arm needs to be the arm that's doing the choking, or the actual arm that's around the throat. Okay? And never ever take your arm out far around, because then your attacker can throw you, grab your fingers, whatever. So make sure you just slide it in. Putting your head down, shoulders behind, you go to palm, get down, wrist action, choke. As soon as your partner slaps out, you let go. Okay, I got in this angle mainly for this part. Now we're going to face the camera for the chokes itself. Okay? Remember, coming around, and basically this part of the thumb, the first main knuckle on the thumb, as soon as you see that, that is as far as you want to go with this, because this is your choking part of the arm. From that knuckle to this part of the wrist is what you're choking him. And the action that you are doing, you're pulling with this hand, at the same time this wrist is driving up into the throat of the attacker. Making sure the shoulder, your right shoulder, or the same shoulder that you are choking with, is behind the neck or behind the head, and your head is down. If he tries to swing at you, he might hit you a couple times lightly. He can't hit you full force. It only takes 2 to 4 seconds with a good choke to put a guy out. Okay, around, palm to palm, shoulder behind, wrist action. As you can see, I'm barely applying and he's slapping out. This is very painful. It works very fast. Okay, one more time. Wraps around to here, palm to palm, down, choke. It's a scarf choke. Okay, number 2 is called python. Some people call it sleeper. I call it python. It wraps around basically the same way. It comes down and up behind the head. As you can see, the same part is choking. It goes behind the head, and your head goes down into this triangle that you have right here. And you push down on the head, and you do that same wrist action with his hand and your arm, like this. Okay? Very painful one. You're pushing down on the head and up with the hand, up with the arm. It's python, squeezing it in. Okay, the third one is a scissor choke. Okay, basically you're going to wrap around, and this way you'll grab the lapel. You'll grab it all the way up so that thumb is right into the carotid artery, and that wrist is right in the front of the neck. And basically the elbow will drop straight down and grab your arm, and you're doing a two-way. You're doing this with this arm and this with this arm at the same time. Okay? Okay? It's your scissor choke. You're pushing forward on the head, back of the neck, back of the head, in this way with this hand here. All right, the next one is the half Nelson scissor using the lapel. Come up grabbing, going all the way out on the arm, going back, you're pushing forward on the head, drawing back on the arm, and wrist action, same time. Okay? One more time, going around, thumb as far up as you can get it. Grab, out, push, choke. Okay? Now we're going to go to the naked half Nelson scissor. Basically, it's exactly the same thing. This hand goes around here, you go out up to here on this one, and your hand gets right on his shoulder, and you do the same thing. You hook into the shoulder. Okay? Without the lapel. Okay? One more time. It's up, on the shoulder, forward, press. Okay? Okay. Now what we're going to be doing is revival techniques, the revival part of the thing. Basically what I want you to do is turn around this direction. Okay, your attacker is, or your training partner is laying on his back. He's been choked out. He's choked out pretty good. This is number one. Anytime, whichever hand that you're going to grab his neck, that leg needs to be up so you have good strength. The other hand grabs around the shoulder area, but you get right up underneath the neck. You pick him up and put your foot in a 45-degree angle up to support him. Then you come up to your feet, basically, not letting go like I just did, but just trying to show you. Then you put your palms right at the top part of his chest, and you're going to drive down. You listen, you can hear the air being drove back, and then with your fingertips, you come back, pulling and driving your knee in. Back and forth. Knees drive in, then it straightens up, back. Basically what you're doing is you're opening the air passages. Okay? The next one is grabbing him like in this position and using a palm strike right between the shoulder blades in an upward fashion. Okay? Hitting that until he revives. Them are your two best revival techniques. Okay?